Good evening. Today is Friday, December 26, 2025. I hope everybody has had a Merry Christmas. And as this year rapidly draws to a close, this has been a year of challenges for many of us. Been a very different year for me than any year of the past, but God is still blessing us and we continue to move forward. We give Him praise. Again, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and will have a happy and prosperous New Year. I want to talk this evening about a Christmas event I've never had the pleasure of attending yet. I say yet because it's on my bucket list of things to do, and God willing, I'll make it there eventually. It's an event that occurs in West Texas, a town called Anson, west of Abilene. The It's called the Cowboys Christmas Ball. It's based on a 19th century ballad, and it was started in 1885, and uh, there was a place called the Star Hotel in Anson, um, where a Christmas dance was held annually in appreciation for the patronage of ranchers and cowboys. And there was a man from New York named William Lawrence Chittenden, who was a poet, among other things, who attended one of these events. And um, it was held annually again and at the Star Hotel. He watched the cowboys and their ladies dance the square, the heel and toe polka, the waltz, and the Virginia reel. From his observations, perhaps at later dances, he wrote his poem, The Cowboys' Christmas Ball. Now, if this started in 1885, that was 140 years ago. Some uncertainty exists about which year's dance was the model for the poem, but the years 1885 and 1887 are the most common dates given by writers. The poem was first published in the Anson, Texas Western on June 19, 1890, after the Star Hotel had been destroyed by fire earlier in the year, and the information about the old hotel was being sought. In 1893, the poem appeared in the first volume of Ranch Verses, a collection of Chittenden's poems. John A. Lomax published it in his 1916 edition of Cowboy Songs and Other Frontier Ballads. I first became aware of John Lomax and his son Alan Lomax as collectors of folk music, including blues, when I began my research for my 2002 book about the Texas blues man Bland Lemon Jefferson. So check that out sometime. But Gordon Graham, a cowboy folklorist from Colorado, set the poem to music and sang it at the Anson Ball in 1946. And it became a common practice to have a soloist sing the ballad before the ball. Now, the music at the ball of 1885 was a bass viol, a tambourine, and two fiddles. Both music and vocals have changed over the years. Yet ball officials have remained firm that both music and song must conform to the tradition that became clearer over the years. Dances were held at Christmas in Anson at irregular intervals, with little regard for the poem for several decades following its publication. Then in 1934, the event was revived under the title Cowboys Christmas Ball by Leonora Barrett, an Anson teacher and folklorist. The first reenactment was held in the high school gymnasium, continued on an annual basis thereafter. The Anson dancers attempted to retain the old dance customs, steps, and songs. The men bowed and the ladies curtsied. The music was slow enough to allow the dances to be done in an unhurried manner and with much grace. It's not good to rush through anything. Because the Anson group performed dances not done by any other group in the National Folk Festival, they were invited to the festival in Chicago in 1937. Gertrude Knox, Washington folklorist, invited them to the festival in 1938 in Washington, where they danced on the White House lawn. At later dates, they performed their folk dances in St. Louis, St. Petersburg, Denver, and various cities in Texas. The Anson Group was incorporated in 1937. A board of directors was named. The event was copyrighted. In 1940, because of increased interest and attendance, Pioneer Hall was built as a permanent home for the ball, which had become a 3-day event before Christmas each year. Uh, in the late 20th century, the Cowboys Christmas Ball gained greater recognition through the promotional efforts of cowboy music singer Michael Martin Murphey. He recorded the classic song The Cowboys Christmas Ball in the year of 1985 and continued to play at the annual ball throughout the 2020s. At the 2010 Christmas Ball, and its venue of Pioneer Hall were designated as a historical event in site by the Texas Historical Commission, honored with a Texas historical marker. The Cowboys Christmas Ball observed its 80th consecutive year in December of 2015, and or 2014, consecutive since 1934. They started in 1985, so in 2024 that would have been the 90th consecutive year, but it goes back now. This year would be the 91st, although it was first held in 1885. The dances brought dignitaries, riders, and visitors from all over the nation to Anson. The dances are still presented in a frontier atmosphere. Pioneer steps have been preserved, ratifying Anson's claim to be the home of Western dance. Now, that doesn't mean there hadn't been problems along the way. And it was in 1932, reportedly, that Anson passed an anti-dancing ordinance. There's been number of towns around the country that dealt with similar things to that, of laws against public dancing. A few of these include Pound, Virginia, Henrietta, Oklahoma, Rush Springs, Oklahoma, Elmore City, Oklahoma, and of course, Anson, Texas. And by the way, Elmore City, Oklahoma, served as a model for a very popular movie that came out in 1984 and did a remake later called Footloose, one of my favorite movies. And in 1987, well, see, at the time they were having problems there with this. There were school dances, including proms and street dances, were the primary targets. But the Christmas Ball, Cowboy Christmas Ball, was more or less grandfathered in and exempt from the new regulations. But the association members were forced to obtain a dance permit no less than 72 hours prior to the event, post the permit in a conspicuous location, and have law enforcement officers on hand for securities. And in 1987, they were able to get rid of that very unfair law And there's a group of parents who wanted to have a senior prom, and they became known as the Footloose Committee after the movie. And there's a book called No Dancing in Anson by Ricardo Ainsley. I've looked at that book. I've read reviews of it. I do not have a copy of it. I have not read it. Uh, that'll be another. There's a lot of different books on my bucket list for the future, and that's one of them. Uh, Perhaps someday I'll write a book about anti-dancing ordinances, and that'll be one of my sources. But sanity returned, and that law was repealed. The late 20th century, the Cowboys' Christmas Ball gained greater recognition again because of Michael Martin Murphy. And he structured his um, Christmas concert tour, which ends at the National Cowboy Hall in Oklahoma City in a fashion similar to the Anson Ball, which he promotes at each appearance nationwide. Murphy's fans have traveled all over the country to see his performance in Anson. He was elected to the association as honorary member in recognition for his support for the Cowboys Christmas Ball. Today, as in the past, the ball is a traditional, highly anticipated event where generations of families and friends gather to socialize in the same manner as their predecessors in 1885. It's also a family friendly environment that continues to prohibit smoking and drinking inside the building. Children are encouraged to attend. Normally, it is their family members who bring them to the ball where they learn the history, traditions, and proper etiquette in the same manner their parents learned before them. There's so much in this tradition that's worth preserving. The Cowboys Christmas Ball is quite significant. Although attendance records are incomplete, we know over 5,000 people visited the ball from 2005 to 2015. When that number is multiplied over the ball's 80, now 91 consecutive years, it's safe to say that a lot of guests have enjoyed this historic event. People have come from 48 states, Canada, Europe, and Asia. The ball is well documented by author, photographer, and videographer. It has brought dignitaries, historians, and visitors from all over the nation to Anson. The dances are still presented in a frontier atmosphere. Pioneer steps have been preserved, ratifying Anson's claim to be a home of the Western dance. And by the way, there's some of the rules they laid down in the first. A man, the women are required to wear dresses or skirts. A woman will not be admitted wearing pants. And I'm sure a lot of men wear cowboy hats to the ball, but they have to leave them in the door, as well as spurs and guns if they have such. That's old tradition, removing your hat for the ladies. So uh, that's it's quite interesting. I've never been yet, but I hope and pray that someday I get to go. That's on my bucket list. I was hoping to conclude this video playing the song on my guitar. It's a very long song, and it's going to take a lot of practice. Maybe this time next year I'll do that. I don't have time to practice it today. Maybe in the future I will. But here's how the song goes. Way out in West Texas, where the Clear Fork waters flow, where the cattle are browsing and the Spanish ponies grow, where the northers come a whistling and the old dust devils roll, the prairie dogs are sneezing and freezing from the cold, where the lonesome tawny prairies melt into airy streams, the double mountains slumber in heavenly kinds of dreams, where the antelope are grazing and the lonely plovers call. It was there I attended the Cowboy Christmas Ball. The music was a fiddle and a lively tambourine, a big bass viol imported by stage from Abilene. Now the room was togged out gorgeous with mistletoe and shawls, and the Candles flickered frescoes all around them merry walls. The women folk looked lovely, and the boys looked kind of teed till the leader commenced to yelling, "Hey boys, let's all stampede." The music started sighing and wailing through the hall as a kind of introduction to the Cowboy Christmas Ball. The leader was a feller that come from Swinson's ranch. Yep, they called him Windy Bill from Little Deadman's branch. When he commenced to holler, "Now fellers, stake your pin, lock horns with all them heifers, and rustle them like men. Salute them lovely critters. Now swing him and let 'em go, and climb the grapevine round and round. Now hands all do-si-do. You mavericks join the roundup. Just skip the waterfall." Boy, it was getting active at the Cowboy Christmas Ball. The boys were tolerable skittish, the ladies powerful neat. That old bass viol music made us jump in with both feet. The wailing frisky fiddle I never will forget, and Windy Bill kept singing, I believe I hear him yet. Oh yes, boys, chase them squirrels, cut 'em to the side. Doc Hollis to the center, now cross be Charlie's bride. Her round, you gentle kittens, now rope and balance all. Hey, it was getting happy at the Cowboy Christmas Ball. The dust rose fast and furious. We all just galloped round till the scenery got so giddy that Z-Bar Dick went down. We buckled to our partners and told them to hold on, and shook our hubs like lightning until the early dawn. Don't tell me about cotillions or Germans, no siree. That swirl in Anson City, it takes the cake for me. Oh, Bill, I won't forget you, and often will recall that lively gated soiree, the Cowboy Christmas Ball. Oh no, I won't forget it, the Cowboy Christmas Ball. It's a long song. Maybe I'll learn to play it by this time next year. Again, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and that you have a happy and prosperous New Year. God bless everybody at the sound of my voice.